talking to Rick Steves at
Hi
the hi at the Los Angeles Travel and Adventure Show, brought to you by the LA Times and Unicom. Rick
The movie.
Steves, yes, this is the Rick Steves movie on the Vacation Gals, and as most of you probably know, Rick Steves is the leading authority on European travel. Rick, I do have a couple of questions for you, if that's all right.
Fire away.
I know that you talk a lot about the history of the places that you've been to, and I was wondering if you focus on the natural environment of your surroundings as well.
You know, the fun thing for my work is I can kind of do whatever I want to, and I'm passionate about history more so than flora and fauna. For 25 years I was a tour guide, and everybody's asking, what are those plants? And what are those plants? And tell me about that geology. And I really don't have much interest in that, so I'm not very good at that. But I just love history and I love culture. So I think flora and fauna takes a backseat to history, art, and culture.
How do you think on your shows that you relate the history, the past, and the culture to what's going on in today's world, for example, in Iran?
Well, these days I'm really concerned about America better understanding and having empathy for the other 96% of humanity. And I really find that there's a lot of fear in our society, and there are powerful forces in our society that would find it convenient if we're all just dumbed down. And I find myself being more than a travel writer. I'm kind of like the medieval jester. I need to go out there like the medieval jester did and find out what's going on outside of the castle, and I can come back in and tell the king the truth, and the king actually needs that information. They'll give me room and board. That's what the medieval jester did, and that's what travelers and travel writers can do today. There's respectable parts of our society that are calling us exceptional, and they're doing this as Christians. And if you're a Christian, you believe God created everybody, and He doesn't love anybody more than anybody else. And we are not exceptional. We're beautiful, we're lovable, we're legit, but we're no more exceptional than the people north and south of our borders. But if you never traveled, and if you let people make you fearful of the rest of humanity, then you might buy that kind of stuff. And for me, even if you're only motivated by national security interests, when you start thinking you're exceptional, you're getting into dangerous territory.
A couple of years ago, you started Travel as a Political Act. Sounds like this is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
sort of the thinking in Travel as a Political Act. And I just think you have a choice in your travels. I'm not against fun in the sun and the beach and duty-free shopping and frequent flyer miles and bingo and all that kind of stuff. But if that mindless kind of travel robs any sort of thoughtfulness out of your travel experience, then you, the traveler, are the loser. When you are free and healthy and blessed enough to go leave your country and explore the world, really it makes sense that you become changed, impacted, and come back not only more thankful to be an American probably, but also with more empathy for the other 96% of humanity.
Recently, as we know, a couple of other countries, New Zealand and Japan, have been devastated by earthquakes. There's some movement on bloggers' behalf to try to improve their situation vis-a-vis awareness raising through blog posts about tourism. Do you think that this is truly impactful?
Well, first of all, every time there's a natural disaster or a political strife, people start thinking, is there a special deal for me to capitalize in because if these people are having a tough time with their economy or whatever? And I never think in terms of flying in there after a big problem to snap up cheap hotels or cheap deals on the golf course. I think it's important to remember that tourism is the number one employer and a source of foreign revenue for a lot of countries. And if you travel thoughtfully as a consumer, you want to travel in a way where your money stays in that country. That's really important. You can travel all the way to a desperately poor country and spend the whole time in a fancy hotel with little golf carts taking you around and enjoy a pristine stretch of beach swept free of local riffraff, cheap massages, and a little plastic strap around your wrist giving you margaritas where you don't even have to dig into your pocket for coins. But all that money might be going back to the first world. And I think it would be more conscientious to consume your travel in a way where money stays with people who need it. Also, right now our country is stripping out a lot of very important policies that help desperate people both at home and abroad because somebody's convinced us that we're in economic crisis. We've deluded ourselves into thinking times are tough. We, by any standards on this planet, are still filthy rich. There's just goofy stuff going on with how this wealth and money is distributed. I think even if you're motivated by compassion, you know that every dollar that's spent wisely to help desperately poor people, considering the glut of wealth we have in our country, is beautiful. And when you come home after some thoughtful travel, I think you become an advocate for people in general, for social justice and economic justice. And that's what keeps me working really hard as a travel writer, is try to inspire people in their travels to learn from history, to humanize the rest of the planet, to realize that this world is filled with people who find different truths to be self-evident and God-given, and it just makes sense to give everybody a little wiggle room, because there's plenty of room and plenty of good stuff on this planet for us all to do just fine.
Thank you so
As Rick
much.
might say, keep traveling, and we're in California, so catch you later.